Hello, thank you for joining us today for our fifth in our series, Instapage Product Tour, Coffee and Conversions. Some quick housekeeping items as we get ready to begin in the next few minutes. Please, if you have any questions during the webinar, submit them in the Q&A window and we will answer them toward the end. We will also be sending out a recording and a copy of today's deck via email early next week. And then finally, at the end of today's session, we'll share a survey link via email to gather your feedback and learn how we can improve future webinars, ensuring that they provide you with valuable and actionable insights. Now that we've gone over those, I hope everyone has grabbed their cup of coffee and is ready to get started. So taking a look at today's agenda, we'll be going over some new and existing features in the Instapage platform. Then we will do a live in-product demonstration and a quick Q&A. Joining us today, we have Griffin from Product Marketing. We have myself, who is the Senior Manager Strategic Service. And then we have two special guests today from our professional services team, Andrea Miklas, our Senior Visual Designer, and Alex, our Senior Front-End Developer. So very excited to have them today, and we'll hear from them a little bit later. So getting started on our first topic today, we'll do our feature spotlight. And to kick us off, we will talk about Instablocks. So Griffin, I'm going to hand it over to you. And if you could tell us a little bit about those.
Sounds good. Thanks, Michelle. And hey, everyone. So for an Instablock, it's really just a section on your page. They can be your header, hero, benefits section, footer, and more. The way you can build them, you can do it from scratch, or you can use actually one of our block templates that we offer. And then what people love about Instablocks is that you can save them and then reuse them across all your pages, meaning you never have to rebuild them again.
Awesome. I definitely love Instablocks. Some of the recommendations I have for those is when you're creating Instablocks to use consistent naming conventions. That way it'll make the blocks easier to search inside of the platform. And then also for organization to create a folder hierarchy to categorize the blocks based on different use cases. So tying into that, our next feature that is available on the Convert plans, we have our global blocks. So what are the difference between those and Instablocks?
Yeah, as Michelle mentioned, this is on our Convert plan. And really, you can turn any block into global. And so this allows you to make updates to your pages with just a click. When you think about the differences of like an Instablock, reusable block, a global block, the difference here is that really you're going to reuse it across your pages. And rather than being separate instances, when you update this global block, everywhere you reused it, you're going to be able to apply those updates to all instances. So that's the big difference. Versus a reusable block, you'd place it on a page and it'd be its own separate instance. You're just not rebuilding. When you go global, now you're not repeating updates. So huge benefits to both sides. Just depends on your use case. Like if you have a footer across pages, this is a great use case right here. You just edit it in one place and it would update everywhere.
Awesome. Thank you for that example. And for those, they're really great for developing kind of that centralized repository of your landing page assets. They allow you to efficiently manage and update or repurpose content across multiple pages. So our next item that we want to review today is one of our design features, which is super, sub, and strike availability inside of the platform. So Griffin, can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, these advanced formatting options give you more control over your text. So whether you want to strike out a price to highlight a deal or add a superscript for a disclaimer, these options make it possible with just a click and no coding needed.
Sounds good. So with these, when you use them on the page, one of the main things I want to point out is to really avoid any sort of overuse or excessive use of them. With that can really clutter your content and confuse readers. But then also ensure that your superscript and subscript text remains legible, especially because it makes the font smaller. You want to make sure that it is a large enough size that people are still able to read those and has high enough contrast and visibility. Next item on the feature list for today are our custom fonts. So Griffin, can you explain those to us?
Yeah, custom fonts is on our Convert plan as well, similar to global blocks, just to keep that in mind. And what custom fonts, really, they let you maintain brand consistency by ultimately bringing your custom fonts to your landing pages. And just like matching your ad and page messaging is crucial, the same applies for your branding. So this is the real value here. And so when someone clicks on your ad and lands on your landing page, it shouldn't feel like that different experience. From messaging to branding, everything should just match, helping you drive more conversions.
Great information. With these, when you're applying them to your landing pages, really recommend limiting different font variations to minimize the load times on there. We also recommend the use of modern font formats like WAF and WAF2, which often offer better compression and faster loading times. And then also when you're choosing the fonts for your landing pages, consider accessibility and readability. So sans serif font, which has less decoration on it, are kind of more ideal for clarity in digital content. All right. So the next item we want to discuss today are our default styles. So can you tell us about this?
Yeah, with default styles, we don't want you repeating work you don't have to. And that's what they really solve for you. The colors you input in this page, they're always available now on every page within, I guess on this page, I'm referring to the page on your workspace, the styles page. And then from here, now once you've inputted them, when you're editing a page, you'll always have those colors available to you. And then if you input your default font, this is always selected on every page you go to, not having to repeat selecting that font or using the wrong font on accident. And then for your favicon, you can upload it and then it's going to apply to all your existing pages and any new page you create, really just allowing you not to repeat any work. And all these actions are done and defaulted now.
Yeah. So with those, you can build your internal brand style guide into the styles of your page. It makes it easy for updating across those. Would really recommend kind of setting your defaults identical to what you have on your website, because that allows for a consistent experience if a visitor is clicking over to your website or sent to your main website and the next step. And then add your custom fonts first to have them set available as a default font, if that is something that you need on the landing pages. So the next item that we're going to discuss is less of a feature, but more of a service that is available for Instapage users on our Convert plan, and that is Instapage Professional Services. So essentially, we are a team of professionals that kind of work as a collaborative extension of your team. So we like to work with you to ensure your business's success, and we have different services available for customers. The first of these are our design services, where we can help with page template creations, page redesigns, different imports and block refreshes. And then a new service that we've offered recently is for display ad creation, where we're really push that home on the ad to page relevancy. So if you have a landing page created, but you're looking for more relevant ads, we can help with creating those. Then our technical services can help in covering different third-party integrations, some custom tracking, building any sort of like custom widgets and functionality that may not be native. Some examples of those are flip cards, animations, and accordions. And then on the optimization side, different page speed audits and tracking audits to see, how can we improve the performance of your landing pages. Then from the CRO side, optimization and consulting. So with that one, we can help with kind of creating page table wireframes that either you can use to design your page or can be passed along to the design team. Within those, we help with content development, or we can do them as standalone, where we help develop different value propositions, different calls to action for testing on your landing pages. We can also do behavior analysis based on the heat maps that we've previously reviewed, looking at where visitors are interacting on different areas of your website, and assist with A/B test setup. So, once you kind of have that list of different elements that you want to test, setting those up in the platform and testing those, and even personalization roadmaps. So areas where, maybe you don't know where to personalize next, we can help with kind of creating a roadmap of areas to focus to create those personalizations. So now that we've kind of gone over some of those features and services, we are ready to dive into our live product demonstration. So I'm going to go ahead and hand it off to Andrea, and she will show you how to use these features.
Hello, everyone. So I will share my screen. So let's get started. So as it has already been mentioned, the role of Instablock is to create a library and then be able to reuse them, allowing you to put together a page really quickly when you are pressed for time. So I'm going to show you exactly how it works. Whenever you are into the builder and you highlight the block, you click Insert a Block. And in the top left corner, you will see the Instablocks you have already saved. In time, you will end up having a library of multiple blocks. I will insert one. You just add it on the page, and that's it. Over time, you will end up having a multitude of blocks. So as Michelle already mentioned, we recommend using a naming system and staying consistent with it so you can find your blocks whenever you want. In addition, we also have folders. And for the folders, you can create categories like the Z pattern or hero area. We also have a search in case you are really specific with the naming. It's super easy to save an instant block. You just click the three dots, hit save to my blocks, put on a naming, and that's it. Let's say Hero V1. Moving forward to the global blocks, the main difference between global blocks and Insta blocks is the fact that once you use a global block, you create a global block can be used across multiple pages. You edit it once and it applies to all pages where it is used. Let's insert a global block and do a quick test. You can find it here. Insert global blocks. Edit. Let's say we want to update the price here. I updated the price, apply changes, and then a pop-up will appear with all the pages where this block can be found. You hit proceed, and that's it. Also, it's super easy to connect a global block. You just hit the three dots again, save as global block, put on the naming. And also, if you, for some reason, want to disconnect, you can easily disconnect it, and it will no longer be linked to multiple pages. Moving forward to text formatting options, usually we use strike-through for price discounts maybe, so I will exemplify how it's super easy to do that. I just copy-pasted the price. Let's say we now have it at $15. Select the copy, hit strike-through, and you're done. Then for the superscript, the most common use case for superscript is for disclaimers. Let's say you want to explain a bit more about the sustainable package. You put in a number, select it, superscript, same goes for the subscript option. And then when you scroll down the page, you will see here more details about this. And moving forward, I think I will let Alex explain a bit more about the custom fonts and be right back.
Hey everyone, tonight I'm going to show you how to add a custom font to your Instapage account. I will share you my screen. So for that, we can go here in our Instapage dashboard under the Assets tab. We have the fonts section here. If we go here inside, we can add our font by clicking on Add a new font button here on the left. And once this pop-up opens, we can begin and add our font. So I will go ahead and add our custom font. For this case, we will use Capsule Sans. And here we will need to add the font URLs. And we can go ahead and add these URLs, and we can add multiple font styles with multiple font weights. We'll go ahead and add a few. And as you can see, the font weight option here on the right is automatically selected. You can also go ahead and change it if you want. And after you add your font links, you can go and save. And the text custom font has been adding here to the list. And now let's go ahead and do a test. If we go to the landing pages, let's say we select one of our pages. And here inside the page, let's say that we want to change all of the headers, all the font on all of these headers. So we go here in the default font section, and we select our newly added font, Capsule Sans. And let's go ahead and make it bold. And this way, all of the headers on the page have been updated to using our newly added font. Now, if we save and preview, we can see that the end result was a success and our newly added font is now visible on the page. I think it's back to you, Andrea.
Yes, we will talk a bit about styles. So we have under the assets in your dashboard, the style options. And we recommend setting your style in the onboarding process before start working in the actual builder. So what we have here is the possibility to add different colors, your brand colors. You just click the plus sign, set the color, hit save, and that's it, pretty straightforward. The reason why this is important is because this way you will have in handy your brand colors and don't have to switch between tools, and it improves the process. So for example, let's say you want to change the background color here, block style, background color, and you will see here you will have all the saved colors in handy, and yeah. Next, we have the fonts. Instapage allows 3 different font families as a default setup, one for the headline, one for the paragraph, and for the button. This way, by allowing 3 different font families, we have the possibility to get creative with the design through fonts, but at the same time, we do not allow more to not overdo it and become too crowded. We also have the favicon here. The good thing about this is you said it once, it applies to all your pages. If for some reason, let's say you go through a rebrand, you can super easily update, just hit change. You put your asset in, and just like that, it's updated. And that's pretty much it. Michelle?
All right, thank you so much. So now we'd like to do a showcase of one of the projects we've done through professional services. So one of these was a page redesign that implemented all 3 parts of the services, which includes the CRO side, design, and engineering. So this is the original page where when we took a look at the page, one of the first things we noticed in regard to CRO was that there were links here that lead the visitor off of the site, which could be a distraction. On some screen sizes, the value proposition is below the fold, not prominently placed in the hero at smaller screen sizes. Also, this urgency in regard to the to when to apply was not close to the value proposition. And then as you scroll throughout the page, there are large blocks of text for visitors to read. So with this, Andrea, do you want to talk a little bit about the updates that we made for the page?
Yes, for sure. So in terms of design, for the above the fold area, we tried to declutter a bit and create a clearer hierarchy through different elements, such as the headline, the subhead, the body of text. We brought upward the countdown to create a bit more scarcity. We updated the background image to a similar one, but a bit more clean, allowing the user to see at the first glance what's the page about. Then moving forward, we have the form, and if you start scrolling a bit, you will see we have the background of the form white, and at some point the background of the page is white as well. So that's why we highlighted it through a light shadow. The purpose here was to draw the eye towards the form a bit more. Then I adjusted the white space throughout the page to improve readability and grouped linked elements by proximity. Highlighted different content by utilizing UI shapes to enhance user focus, such as for the testimonial. And for the testimonial, we also implemented the native carousel, allowing the user to decide if they want to dive deeper into the information and scroll through the testimonial, or just scan through the first one and move forward. And I think that's it in terms of design.
Thank you. And then Alex, could you tell us what the engineering implementations were?
Yes, of course. So the main feature of this version of the page, one of the many, is the fact that the part on the right, the form on the right, is sticky. So we had to apply custom CSS and JavaScript to create this feature. So when the user starts scrolling down the page, the form on the right remains sticky, and it stops at some point. And also we had to apply custom CSS and JavaScript for the FAQ dropdowns. For example, for view online programs and frequently asked questions, these have panels, and once you click on them, once you click on the questions, panels open and reveal further information. And for the mobile version, we also had to add a sticky footer that remains sticky once the user starts scrolling down the page, and when you click on the button, and it redirects the user to the initial form. And that's all from the engineering side on this version.
Thank you for sharing. Awesome. So then in terms of additional CRO optimizations, so we also updated the navigation in the hero. Instead of linking off of the page, we minimized it and we linked it to different sections on the page, so the visitor would stay on here and be able to stay focused. We updated the hero value proposition, focusing on the value of affordability and the principles of ACU. But we also grouped together the countdown, using kind of that Gestalt principle of proximity, which states that objects that are positioned close together are kind of seen as a group. So in terms of conversion rate optimization, grouping things such as social proof, motivating statements, statistics, and ratings near a call to action can help increase motivation to perform that action. So we wanted to make sure that they were grouped together, and using a directional CTA to point the visitor's attention over to the form as well. The use of the sticky form on desktop devices and the sticky footer CTA on mobile devices that anchors to the form keeps the primary goal visible at all times, regardless of where the visitor is on the page, and allows them easy access to complete that action instead of having to scroll back up and find the form later on. The accordion for the degree programs allows visitors to see all the available programs in one screen and then expand for additional details. This is also nice in the aspect that on the heat map and tracking, you're able to see what elements visitors are interacting with the most. So you can see if you need to call out certain information more on the page as well. Similarly, the navigation items that we had removed from the original page, so you see transfer credits, military accreditation, and alumni, those ones we moved into FAQs, excuse me, with information on the page. And again, that's to keep the visitor focused on the page instead of sending them to a different page in order to get those answers to their questions. So those were the updates for this page and just one example of the many redesigns that we can do. We like to focus primarily on what's important for the industry and then what are the best practices that we've seen improve conversion rate for our customers. In addition to this page redesign, bringing all the elements of professional service together, we have a showcase page that shows a variety of services that we offer, many of them with examples of how those are implemented on there. So we'll go ahead and share a link with this in the follow-up as well. So with that, now that we've finished our live demonstration, I want to open it up to any questions that you may have. So I think one of the first ones that came through, and Alex, I'm going to go direct this to you. When you were showing the different custom fonts being loaded in, the question was asked, can Instapage host the font files?
Unfortunately, we don't have this feature, so we only have the possibility to add the links to the page, but the fonts need to be uploaded to the client's own server, and we only need to use the links.
Okay. Thank you for that. The next one I'm gonna direct to Andrea. They said if I change fonts on the page, so like in the example that Alex did where he went through the page level and changed the fonts, does it change the default fonts at the workspace level?
So the answer would be no. If you can update the fonts at the page level and it will not override the fonts set in the default style options. So let's say, for example, at some point you want to do a page for a different brand, you can set different fonts from the page level.
Thank you for that. Griffin, I see one here for you. They asked, because we showed the global blocks, are there other global elements available in Instapage?
Yeah, there actually are. When it comes to our global elements, they're all available on our convert plan. And as I touched on, and we all touched on actually, the global blocks is one that we offer. And we also recently offered global forms. And we actually plan to offer global pop-ups as well. Really, these are elements that we see you all are reusing across your pages, and we want you to be able to make them global just to streamline your updates. As I mentioned, is a huge value prop we know is to you all.
Awesome. All right, well, we are getting close to time here. We'll wait one more moment. All right, so I don't see any other questions coming in. So before you leave for today, if you're interested in learning more about the Instapage platform or any of these additional features, please feel free to schedule a one-on-one demo with someone from our team. You can use this link bit.ly/ipdemo5, or when the deck is sent out, you can click this demo button. And then additionally, coming up for our next webinar will be on July 24th. And we're going to do a little bit shift in topics. We're going to do Convert Smarter, 5 landing page tactics to test today. For this, we also want to offer a free CRO audit of your landing page and have it featured for our upcoming webinar. So if you're interested in having this done, please feel free to email me directly at Michelle with 1L at instapage.com. And again, we'll send this information out after the webinar as well. But I just want to thank everybody for joining us today. Have a wonderful rest of your Thursday, and hopefully you have a great weekend as well.